Always the lonely one endures, his mind anxious, awaiting God's mercy. Far roaming the rolling waves, stirring the ice-cold sea, bare-handed, travelling his exile's path, fate unchanging. Thus spoke the earth-stepper, recalling miseries of slaughter, enemies and dear kinsmen cut down. Alone at each dawn I must lament my sorrows. There are none now living to whom I would dare plainly express my heart. I know it is true that a man of real value must bind his thoughts fast, must keep close his heart's treasures, must think as he wants. But my weary heart cannot resist fate, nor my troubled mind provide aid. Therefore, as those who are eager for glory often bind sadness to their breast, so have I had to hold close counsel. Careworn, far from friends, deprived of homeland, I must bind these thoughts with chains. It has been thus since long ago, when I had to bury my liege, had to cover my ring-giver with dark earth, and then, dejected, forever leave that place. I went then winter sad over the waves, homesick I far sought a lord, a mead hall that I might know as my own, a place for my friendless self to be known, to be comforted and enticed with pleasures. The wise know how cruel it is to have grief as one's only companion. He who treads the exile's path with frozen spirit lives no gilded life, possesses no worldly bounty. He remembers the hall brothers of his youth, and his gift-giving gold friend, who would entertain and feast, happiness now all lost. He knows now he has foregone all his friendly lord's wise teachings, then sorrow and sleep combine together, and the wretched loner is held fast by thoughts of his lord. It seems that he embraces him and kisses him, lays his head and hands against his knees, just as in times long past, as in the days of old when he enjoyed the gifts of the throne room. Then he awakes again, a friendless man. He sees before him seabirds bathing atop the boundless stretch of dark water, their feather-tipped wings outspread as falling snow and hail mingle to frost. Then his heart's wounds grow more grievous, paining him as he longs for his beloved. His sorrow is renewed.
Is there such a thing as insanity among penguins? I try to avoid a definition of insanity. I don't mean that a penguin might believe he's Lennon or Joe Calzaghe, but could they just go crazy because they've had enough of the colony? Well, I've never seen a penguin bashing its head against a rock. They do get disorientated. They end up in places they shouldn't be. a long way from the ocean. These penguins are all heading towards the open water on the right. But one of them caught our eye, the one in the centre. He would neither go towards the feeding grounds on the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 60 miles away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if we caught him and brought him back to the colony, he'd immediately turn around and head straight back for the mountains. But why?
Remote-controlled creatures, their brains powered by atomic energy, roaming the streets, directed from a central point. Utterly fantastic.
I said, I gotta get Jesse's number. He said, well, I got Jesse's number.
Nobody gets Jesse's
But I
number.
wanted to make sure that I don't have silence.
Now then, I'm on my way to Pembrokeshire. I decided, offhand like, on the spur of the moment, to go on a little ancestral tour, so to speak, to go and peruse the dolmens of Pembrokeshire in southeast Wales, for there are many fine dolmens in that region. There is one particular which I have been looking at over the past few years. It keeps popping up on Google Images and the like. A very fine example, the name of which I cannot now recall because it's Welsh and it's hard to pronounce and hard to remember. A right chunky lad with 3 chunky legs and a great chunky capstone. So yes, I'm going to take a look at him. That's where I'm heading right now. He's on the far side, sort of pretty much on the southeasterly tip of Wales. And it's a nice spot. Winter is closing in, of course, but I feel quite brave these days. I've got my coal and my wood stocked up in the back of my van, of this big luxurious van. Well, it's not exactly luxurious, but it's luxurious for me, after living in that tiny little blue van for a year. So yes, I thought I'd take her out. It was time to hit the road and return to the great quest.
The great quest.
I'm not going to go into full cinematic masterworks here. Just a bit of fun, something to keep you ticking along, something to remind us to think big, as the ancients surely did. Aye.
Watch closely. There may be a drama that's not on the program.
You see this little ewe here? That's a Welsh mountain sheep, bred for hardiness. Small ewes. That one happens to be black. They're normally a slightly fawn, slightly golden hues with a white base, but that one is black. Aye. Small, hardy, stocky little ewes, obviously bred for the mountains, as per Welsh mountain ewe. Ah, there we go. Small and hardy. Just like me.
And what about Calzaghe? Untried. And let's go with the left hand straight away. Eubank made. I didn't know whether he might just try to catch Calzaghe cold.
Well, Calzaghe is a very fast starter. Left hand! Puts Eubank on the floor for only the 5th time in his career. What a start by Calzaghe. He means business, all right, this Welshman.
Remote-controlled creatures, their brains powered by atomic energy, roaming the streets, directed from a central point. Utterly fantastic.
It's all hands, you know. I have to say to you, not bad for an old slapper.
Not bad for a slapper. Like I said, you know, you come in our ring and underestimate my power.
I'm in Pembrokeshire now. We're 8 miles away from the finest dolmen on this little route. I thought instead of there were 3 or 4 and I was gonna take them in order, but I've decided to go to the one I really wanted to see, which was furthest away on the right on the western side on the coast of Pembrokeshire. I'm going to tell you a story about Fringe Monkeys, how valuable and important they are to protecting our society. It's a true story. In Africa, they have a group of monkeys. They have your core group of monkeys that live in the trees, and they have a hierarchy, they have a leader. Everybody follows the leader, except for the fringe monkeys. The fringe monkeys can't quite follow the leadership. They have different views. They want to do things a little bit differently. So they have a hierarchy of chimpanzees or monkeys. Banishes those monkeys that are called fringe monkeys. They're banished to live out on the fringe of the chimpanzee troop. And everybody acknowledges they're there. They let them do their thing. But the really important thing is fringe monkeys protect the core group of monkeys, because if a predator comes, that'll eat a fringe monkey first, or if there's a disease or something, the fringe monkeys will detect it first and ultimately pay the sacrifice and die. But that gives the core group of monkeys time to prepare and advanced warning. So that's how valuable fringe monkeys are. Or anybody on the fringe.
He was hit by an astonishing 1,006 punches. It was faultless, for this Joe was spellbinding. Judgment Day became Coronation Day for Joe Calzaghe, now recognised as a great champion who's on top of the world.
Remote-controlled creatures, their brains powered by atomic energy, roaming the streets, directed from a central point. Utterly fantastic.
What do we want? Equality! When do we want? Now! What do we want? Equality! Now! What do we want? Equality! Be ye big or small, I'll speak
become death, the destroyer of worlds. I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
I dreamed I might watch you age until you were rendered by the decades frail. For I was quite sure that your smile in that future would blaze in my eyes just the same. And yet, having waited to no avail, to see the mark of my name upon your smile, I do concede that the romance in that gale was mine, and mine alone. So forgive me for asking that I not be expected to commit to conceal, to maintain the mundane by your side once again, for to frame the most prized as the common without mention makes a joke of yours and mine. Though I know all too well that that joke is on me, alone I remain with my meaning. So to play that charade, to serve a lie, for a chance to confide what is true, feels a mockery of the divine most unseemly. For proud shone the moon above that future unseen, when it bore me home to find thee.
remote-controlled creatures, their brains powered by atomic energy, roaming the streets, directed from a central point.
Utterly fantastic.
The inner circle came from 4 or 5 miles that way.
Children of the sun, see your time has just begun, searching for your ways to adventures and
So superior to the sort of thing one usually sees.
Oh, yes, infinitely. And the leading man, my dear Mrs. Van Climate, this tremendous power which is...
Absolutely inspired, my dear Penguin.
It's a penetrating documentary in our times. It's a mirror of our cliched minds, of our sadly weakened moral fiber. Wouldn't you say?
Lit red, awash, 100 kindred revelers glow. So seeing I revolve myself about K's key. There, freed beyond full circle's lock, I, tumbling pin of brass, loosed drop, to fall within this vault of flesh, beneath glittering domes of neurons meshed, and come to rest at last within time's tomb of selves long past. So, having slipped beneath the present's blade, that unending tally of choices made, grim herald's march of approaching past is here stilled. No more that mortal dread's tattoo, unceasing, indelible, drilled. No more chaotic glyphs of dreams once won and lost. No more those moments infinite tossed, heaped about my golden boss, till those towering mounds of dross divide my eye from all that divine in that once I lost. No more. So, enthralled, I dance, spry at last, through the vault of time behind my eyes, and there stumble across my eye long past. O fair youth, dreamer yet to live, slight form reborn, what it is to meet your gaze within mine own. O tender boy, prodigal son returned, what it is to share again this breath with thee, to greet that little world thine own, to share that scent of fortune for you half grown. O my truest friend, mine own returned, stand now firm in me. So, whilst Pan's hoard pounds o'er this heartbeat's rhythm slowed, time turns full circle, and in one moment's glory blessed, his stony face softens to a smile.
Mae milach fe chant o flynyddoedd yn amser hir i'r côr. Ond oedd Magnus Maximus yn Cymru yn y flwyddyn 303, yn gadael yn genedl gyfan, a heddiw Osgyd y milltir wy bren, a gwyddyd y daran ein cwr. Llifyd a grer gwangalon, a syfyd y teiog y llawr. Died y wagdi o'n gwmpas, rydyn ni'n barod am boriad wan. Rydyn am o hi, rydyn am o hi, rydyn am o hi, rydyn am o hi. Gweitha pawb a phomer, gweitha pawb a phomer, gweitha pawb a phomer, rydyn am o hi. Cofiwn Accen wledig, a nael ein gwlad ni'n darn, a flwyddwn ger bron y gwledydd, byddwn yma hyd dydd y farn. Gweitha pob Dick Sion Dafydd, a'r gweitha y gelyn a'i grew, byddwn yma hyd diwedd amser, a fydd yr iaith Gymraeg yn fyr.
Yeah, try this fella. Go on. Aye, that's right.
I was not alone. My fellow tourists were joined by a number of emperor penguins, curious about our presence. It was as though they were seeing us off. Accordingly, I made my way back to the helicopter drop-off point. It was a delightful end to my visit to the colony on that day.
Children of the sun, see your time has just begun. Searching for your ways through adventures every day.
Every day and night, with the condor you fly, your friends into it is a cue of gold.